welcome everybody. Welcome back again. Today we have the usual crew. We have Milan, we have Angela. Welcome back. We missed you last time. We have Dora. Dora, I'm gonna take it way back and be corny. Dora the Explorer. And then we have our very own Natalia. And my name is Colleen. And welcome back. Welcome back. I think this is our third session, or yeah, our third session. And for those of you that have joined us before, you kind of know the routine. We just have a little Q&A session mixed with a little bit of conversation. Also, if you guys have anything, any questions that you want to ask or any comments, please feel free to drop them in the messages, and one of us will read them and recognize you. So
okay, there's something wrong because you can hear two. Can somebody else see it on another page? Tell me what y'all hear, because I hear two, like it's two recordings. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Is somebody, Milan, y'all hear me?
Angela, I can't hear a word you're saying. You must be muted. But
I think Dora has two different things on. She's just not showing something. Yeah, Dora has her two phones on. Unmute yourself, Dora.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
We're live.
Okay.
okay, so Natalia, because you're the host and you're also streaming live, that's probably why you hear too. Wait, now I hear it too. It's just the echo.
Because I'm playing it on my other phone on Facebook.
Okay.
So yeah, Dora needs to cut off the other phone because we're hearing our own conversation through her phone.
Turn it off, Dora.
Turn it down.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
I did.
All right. So
remember, y'all, we live.
Listen, it's just realness. That's all. It's just realness. I mean,
yes, that's what this conversation is all about. Realness.
Mm-hmm.
Something is dragging. Something is dragging. Like it's a delayed. Everything is delayed.
You're the only person that's experiencing that though, and that's because you've got two programs that you're hosting. You're one live, and you're the operator of the Zoom. So you have both of those.
Okay, let me try to turn the logging over to you.
It's live on Facebook right now.
Because I hear a little delay too. It's just the echo. But if everybody mutes their phones, that should fix it.
Okay.
So everybody mute. Everybody, let's try this and see if it works for Natalia.
Everybody hit mute and let me see, does that work? Mute your phone.
How about, okay, so now should be the only person that's not on mute. Do you still hear a delay? Just shake your head, yes or no. Do you still hear a delay? Or do you still hear like two people talking at once? La, 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 la. You still hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too compromising for you to be able to understand? If not, then we might as well just go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So I already introduced us. For those of you that missed that, we have Milan, we have Angela, we have Dora, we have Natalia, and we have myself. So my name is Kaleem, and I am definitely an addict. My clean date is November the 10th, 2016. It is my most precious gift. I just celebrated 4 years clean Tuesday. So, and if you knew me, you would know how significant that is. We also have a celebrant from this month past, right? Or was it We have Angela. Angela just celebrated some clean
This
time.
month's pass, my clean date is October the 19th, 2017. I am celebrating 3 years.
You see that? So it's possible. It's possible. I just wanted to make mention of that, not to gloat, because you know, I know me personally, I can't gloat. I mean, I used to stand in front of a store panhandling. So for me to act like, I have arrived, I'm just sharing that to share to the newcomer that it is possible and that we do recover. Um, so with that being said, I just wanted to go ahead and start off with a couple of questions. I would like to ask you first, Angela, if I may, starting with the first question, which is prison or jail a part of your story? And if so, explain its effects on your life as you are trying to move forward.
Um, so yes, once again, my name is Angela Zanaya Hunt, and I am an addict. For me, yes, jail is a part of my story. I am very fortunate enough not to have prison as a part of my story, but I did go in and out of jail several times, and the majority of the times I went in was because of my using. Um, I was arrested for the first time in Orlando, Florida, 2009, for possession of crack cocaine. Um, when that happened, pretty much my life, for me, I thought my life went downhill because going to the jail system one time, and then from that point on, it becomes a ripple effect for a while until you change your habits. So yes, for me, jail was a part of my story. Fortunately for me, I had the opportunity to meet a judge one day who basically just looked at me and said, "You know what? All games aside, if I see you in here one more time, you're going straight to prison, no hesitation." And for me, it was already hard enough to even be in jail. Like in jail, I I, I volunteer to go to the psych ward every time. That's me. I couldn't comprehend. I would graciously volunteer me in a jail cell with a bunch of men. No, honey, y'all better lock me up, put me somewhere in a safe room because they're not gonna be able to take me, and I'm not gonna be able to take myself. So I would always ask to go to the psych ward and start acting crazy so that I can get locked up in the psych ward. So that was my place. I felt better in the medical, you know, because most everybody there had a problem. So if you had any other problem, someone would look at you crazy and start shaking, and I would start shaking right back. So the thought of me going to prison was definitely something I did not want to experience. And thank God I was able to then change my life around and change my direction at that time. And I wasn't, unfortunately for me, I didn't have to go through the prison system.
Okay, okay. And I understand that. I saw that, Natalia, what you just did. Um, Angela, I don't even know what to say. um, Milan, I got a question for you. No, I'm sorry, Milan. I'm sorry. Dora, I have a question for you.
No. Okay, what
Oh,
is it?
okay, for the unmute. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, how often throughout the course of a month does the thought to use or get high pop up in your mind?
Honestly,
Hmm.
almost every day. It's a struggle. It's like a best friend that you can't get rid of. But do like time heals everything, I believe. And the more time you deal with it and you feel better with yourself about being stronger than it makes it easier to make moves.
Absolutely. So, and I understand that, and I do agree with you there. But what do you do to combat those thoughts?
What do I do to, I would say, talk to somebody, get on the phone with somebody that you're accountable to. Like, I be calling people, and sometimes they're really busy, but I got to get it out. Like I might not be like, it might be that that issue is anxiety that would lead to that, but I just have, and then I get my little comfort, like my, my strength, through talking to somebody who's positive. You might not even be dealing with the situation, but it all works together to, that's how I stay strong, because it's hard to do it by yourself. You got to be accountable to someone that you trust, and plus prayer. I have to pray a lot. I got to pray a lot, and I just feel better about myself. I just like I like the space I'm in. I like, how my skin looks, I just like everything about me, and I don't want to change it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You said something that I just wanted to kind of key in on, and that was talking to someone. Like I know earlier on in my recovery, like just calling somebody and them answering the phone, just talking to them, not even necessarily saying, "Hey, look, I want to get high," but just talking to them. Like it gets you outside of yourself. You don't have to call them and give them your whole life story. You know what I mean? You just call them and just get outside of yourself. And before you know it, you done got through that hour. You done got through that day. And tomorrow comes, you do the same thing. So absolutely, absolutely.
It's always a trap set for you. Like you'll get a guy that hits on you, that gets that number, that want to come chill with you, that happens to be a drug dealer.
A dope boy. Right.
So it's always like a setup. So you just got to be stronger than whatever comes up against you and be ready, because it's gonna get harder before it gets easier. Too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you for your transparency, for real. So, Mulan, hello. Hello. So, I'm actually going to ask you the same question that I asked Angela. And that is, was prison or jail a part of your story? And if so, explain the effects that it's had on your life moving forward.
Yes, both jail and prison. Not so much county jail though. Because I can remember now, it's like every time I would get arrested, I always would end up in a room with one of my homegirls. Um, so that made it better. And even in the county, being away from coke, we found other things like pills to crush up and sniff in jail. Um, I feel so stupid saying that.
But that's real.
But that's what we did. It's not until I went to prison till I was like, oh girl, okay, this is way different than county. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me at all. So my almost my whole sentence in prison, I was telling myself, girl, you have to change. You cannot get out there. You gotta leave that coke alone. You gotta leave it alone. You gotta leave it alone. That's the only way you're gonna get somewhere. That's the only way you're gonna have something. You have to leave that coke alone. So basically it was just me talking to myself like that whole year that I was in there, because I knew prison was somewhere that I never wanted to go back to. And thank God I've never been back. I've been out now almost 18 years, as well as clean for 18 years. So yeah.
Remarkable. Remarkable. Like remarkable. So, you said you feel silly about talking about how you used to crunch up pills, right? So I'm about to like tell y'all something that nobody knows. So in jail, in the county jail up north in New Jersey, probably down here too, they sell coffee. And the powder coffee that you mix in the water, and we used to sniff that coffee and be bouncing off of the walls in that jail, like literally bouncing off of the walls. So you're not alone. Never alone. We're in this together. Yeah. So all right, Natalia, how you doing? Natalia, how you doing?
She's muted.
Natalia
Natalia.
Scott.
Regina.
Okay. Unmute yourself for me.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Okay. Okay. Oh, businesswoman, you. I was calling you like 3 times. I seen you over there handling your business though. So I want to ask you a question.
Mhm.
You ready?
Yes,
Okay. Have you ever been to jail or prison before?
yes, I have
Both?
both.
Okay. So it's obvious that they're a part of your story. How many times?
I went to, I've been in county jails probably about 6 times, and I've been to prison twice.
What's the longest you stayed in prison?
The last time, it was 18 months.
18 months.
Mhm.
I could see me rocking in the corner talking about it all happened so quickly. I had an 18-month sentence, but I ended up making parole. But so does going to prison and having a prison record, how does that affect your life now that you're doing big things, obviously? You know, how are those becoming like hindering blocks, if at all?
Those have become my strength, because the things that I had to endure going to prison, uh, being told what to do, humiliated, mistreated, made me realize that that's something that I never wanted to endure again. And so that's where my strength came from. And that's why I knew when I did that last bid, I was going to turn my life around when I got out. No matter what it took, I knew that I was going to turn my life back around, because I couldn't endure it. I could not endure another sentence, not even in county jail. I can't endure that.
Right. Okay. So I like how you said that they've become your strengths because you know you can either look at these things like either my cup is half empty or half
Can you
full.
please, can you please mute door, please?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. So and just like you, like I choose to use my experiences as a strength, you know, and but I got to tell you something. So um like I said, I've been clean for 4 years, and you know, I'm grateful to the God of my understanding that I don't look like what I've been through, you know. And
Mhm.
so when I tell people that I used to smoke crack, you know, they look at me like, "Wow, you know, you look great, and you know, you beat it, and congratulations, and I admire you, and whoop de whoop de woo." So, but I honestly found myself getting off on that. You know what I mean? Whereas though the normal person would be ashamed or embarrassed about what they've done, I found myself getting prideful about it. You know what I mean? And running around and purposely telling people, oh, yeah, guess what? Hey, you know, I used to smoke crack. You know what I mean? Just to hear those accolades and to hear those, you know, those attaboys and things like that. So
Mhm.
that's just another thing that taught me that, you know, the drugs are just a symptom of a much deeper issue, meaning
Mhm.
I have self-acceptance issues. I have, you know, just issues, a lot of character defects that I'm just learning how to process now that I got the dope out of the way. So,
Mhm.
us getting high, and for those addicts out there that are getting high and not understanding why they're getting high, like I personally have experienced using against my own will. I've cracked pipes with tears, crying and smoking at the same time because I didn't want to get high anymore. You know, so you know, you'll hear people say, oh, you used because you wanted to. That is not the case. So for you addicts out there that hear people say that, don't believe it. It's not what people call you that defines who you are. It's who you answer to and what you answer to. You know,
That's true.
these symptoms, the drugs, that's just the way that we vent. That's the way, that's our escape. But it's a sign of a much deeper problem. So, you know, and it can only be addressed by getting help. And like also like Doris said, reaching out, talking to somebody, you know. So I just wanted to put that out there, since I don't have the opportunity to answer the questions unless somebody asks me one, of course, and you all have that right to ask
Mhm.
me. but I just wanted to share some hope and give y'all a hope shot out there. Like we didn't become addicted in one day. So remember, easy does it. And it's straight like that, straight like that. So now for you, I'm gonna come back to you, Natalia, because you said you were in prison and you you use it as your strength now, but I'm wondering if that was always the case. So I'm going to ask you, was prison the turning point of your drug addiction, or did you continue using?
I continued using. It wasn't the turning
Okay.
point for me. My drug addiction was something that I wasn't even really aware of. I felt my drug addiction was fun. I felt like I was just having fun. I felt like I was partying and turning up. And so it was just a part of who I was. So it didn't resonate with me that I went to prison because of the fact that I was making careless decisions in the way I did things. Even though I was hustling and living illegal at the time, I feel like uh, I would have probably been able to get out of that and not go through, the prison had I not been on drugs. But
Right.
at the time, I didn't realize any of that.
Right.
So
And a lot of
the drugs is what had me making all the wrong decisions and doing risky things that landed me in prison.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's not until hindsight, and I'm sure Angela, you could probably share in this thought or view, and Dora, actually all of you probably, like it wasn't until hindsight that I realized that like my addiction played a major part in everything that has happened to me. Like, I was quick to blame somebody, like, well, if that cop wasn't there, if he wasn't looking at me, man, I wouldn't have went to jail, or it was always I was blaming others for what was going on, but it was all a direct result of either the drug or what I was doing to get the drug. So
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate exactly what you just said, Natalia. Definitely. Hey, Milan. Hello. Where are you? There you are. Unmute yourself for me, sweetheart. Okay.
Hello.
I hear you. I hear you. So I wanted to ask you too, since you've been to prison, was that like the turning point for your drug addiction, or did you continue to use after prison? Like,
No, that was it for me. Because I knew if I got out and did the same thing, I would end back up in there. And
you
like
did
I
say
said,
that.
that prison, I went to prison at one time, and that one time showed me that that wasn't the place for me, and that's somewhere that I never wanted to go again. So like
So
when
was
I
that
got
your
out, no
major?
more.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Was that why you stopped getting high? I mean, was that the main reason why you stopped getting high? Like,
Yes, my freedom being taken away from me and going to prison, it being in prison, it showed me so much. It showed me I felt abandoned from friends. And I never wanted to feel that way again. I just felt so lost in there. Um, and also, my daughter Maya, she passed away while I was in prison, and I wasn't able to go to the funeral. And that led to me getting out, being very depressed. But I also knew that I couldn't go back because I didn't want to go back and that happened again. I lose someone else that I couldn't pay my respects to in the end or anything like that. Just being away from friends, missing things. When I got out, it seemed like I was only in for a year, but it seemed like everything changed so much. People changed so much. So many people were gone, passed away, moved away. And I just, when I got out, I felt so lost. So I just knew that I never wanted to go back there. And I always heard the stories of you go one time and you get in trouble again, you going right back, and then that time is going to be longer. So I knew I had to stop.
absolutely, absolutely. So I've been, I've experienced prison one time up north, and I was only there. I got sentenced for 18 months, and I ended up doing like a month. The way it goes up there is you go to middle. like a stop before prison. It was called craft, and I didn't even make it out craft before I saw the parole board. Like I've never been in trouble before. So got 18 months. I ended up going to a halfway house and doing my time in a halfway house. Needless to say that I didn't get the experience that you got, or I probably would have refrained from continuing my bouts with drugs. That wasn't enough for me. I continued to get high. I went to jail. 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 And just like you, I used to take PC though, but I took PC because it was a lot of gangs and I was just, I was scary. I ain't gonna lie, I was scary. Jail wasn't for me. Like I grew up in a really nice home, and it just wasn't for me. So I would be in PC too. Bring me my food, bring me everything. You're not taking my bag of commissary. Like, no, I'm not going through all of that. But I can say that prison did not. It wasn't the jarring experience that I needed, but I can say that it was as well because this last time I got arrested and they sentenced me to a program called the Matrix program. And what that is it's like a drug rehab within the jail here in Jacksonville, Florida. I got sentenced to the Matrix program, which is 4 months, plus they added an extra um, 6 months to it. So I did a total of 10 months. And I never looked back after I got out of jail. I went to a halfway house, another halfway house, and I started going to meetings and I just never looked back. So I can actually answer yes and no to both of those questions because since I got released, I haven't found the need to use any mood or mind altering substance. And I'm just trying to be a better me. Also, I don't know if y'all see this, but I have been without a cigarette for 4 entire days now. This is a vape, but there's no nicotine in it. I just need that whole mouth to hand smoke to kind of ease my mind. But it's possible. This is the hardest thing out of all of the drugs that I've ever done. These cigarettes are the hardest addiction that I have ever tried to quit. But I have surgery coming up, so the doctor said I'm not doing the surgery unless you quit smoking. So um, let me see. Who do I want? Who do I want? Natalia, time check, sweetheart.
It's 7:41.
Okay, and we have an hour, correct? From 7 to 8. I'll take that as a yes. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions for any of us, or do we have any comments from the viewers on your Facebook? I'm not on your Facebook, so I can't see.
If we don't have any questions, I know I wanted to kind of share. Like for me, like when I first started off my journey, I didn't use my first substance until I was 24 years old. So I considered myself a goody two shoe. I wasn't gonna mess up my life. I wasn't gonna do anything wrong. And I think I shared in our very first meeting we had that I fell in love with someone, the breakup, and after the breakup, it kind of was a ripple effect from that point on. Um, Part of my story also is I know we're talking about STIs and everything as well. So part of my story is HIV. I do think my using contributes to my HIV because there were times when when I didn't think clearly, when I was out there having my fun and partying, whatever, doing, working, trying to get the next hit or just trying to have fun to keep me going through the night after I've gotten high, I sometimes didn't take care of myself. I sometimes, I had condoms in my bag, but I would always say, okay, this a quickie. I ain't gotta worry about that right now. It's a quickie. You're gonna get some real fast, give it to them and be done with it. And then it was like, oh, let me do this part to you. And I'm like, oh my God, come on, let's get that too. And it wasn't no bag condom. It was like, okay, just get it. Go do what you gotta do. So for me, I know going through some of those experiences, like I said, I think it really contributed to my HIV. But the thing about being in a program for addiction, it's allowed me to to focus on those things, notice those things, and I can't change them, but I can correct them from this point on. I can make sure that I don't involve myself in any unprotected sex anymore. I can make sure that I also share what I've learned with others with the hopes of them not getting that far or making those same mistakes that I made.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate the transparency there. And it's one thing that I try to remember sharing my story is that through my honesty, others can gain identification, and through that identification, they too can heal. So I appreciate the value of what you just shared, Angela, because you shared that not for you, but for the person coming behind you to save them from some of the same mistakes, for lack of better term, that you have made. Um, yeah, yeah, and hearing stories and hearing other people's stories just makes me remember and realize how blessed I am. You know what I mean? And how fortunate I am. Because if we were in the same area, yes.
One thing I want to say is never get comfortable in your recovery. That's one thing I can say, never get comfortable, because I feel like I arrived at a point to where I was invincible. I felt like it was over with, that was behind me. I started feeling like, oh, I can drink because, as long as I don't do drugs, I'm fine. So I started back drinking. And so through drinking, it started being a constant thing. And in the beginning, that what a lot of people don't take. I don't know what I can't think of exactly the word I want to use, but what a lot of people don't take response for is the fact that alcohol is a drug. That's
right.
one.
They don't acknowledge. They don't acknowledge.
So, right. So I think that I know, but that's my vice, to not use drugs. I say I have my cocktails, so I can have. That's my balance. But I've realized as of late that it's conniving. Addictions are conniving. You will slip before you even realize you slipped from thinking that you're in a comfortable place.
Come on.
So I know, and I encourage anybody that's in recovery, you have to always be on edge. You can never get comfortable in your recovery. Never get comfortable. Because just like this, you'll be back to where you started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And my sponsors say that too. He says never get complacent in your recovery, because you get so used to your disease throwing circles at you that it'll knock you upside your head with a triangle and you won't know what happened. So definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
And I want to
And,
say to people, I want to say that it gets easier, but it's never easy.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, I've been 18 years, but a few years ago, I followed someone in and asked them for a bump. Had they said yes, just like that, I would have been back at square one. So and that's where, and a lot of people always ask me, why you don't come out to the club? That club is a trigger for me. I see everybody around me living and going in and out that bathroom with them smiles and them shades on. Bitch, I get excited because one thing we can't lie about, baby, getting high was fun.
it was
For
fun.
me anyway. It was fun in the clubs. I remember it. Sometimes I want to really reminisce and stuff like that when I'm in the club. So sometimes I just have to leave out because I know, I can't take away the fact that it was fun. It was fun, but I know I don't want to go down that line anymore. But just know that it gets easier, but it's never easy.
All right, now what's up, Dora? What's up? What's up?
I'm here.
Okay, I just want to hear something from you. I mean, we got these nuggets being dropped. I mean, it's only right.
What do you want to hear?
I just want to hear what's on your heart. What's on your
Um,
heart?
what I know to keep you from going back is the key to me is a positive separation. Like you have to some kind of way find yourself to put yourself in a good place, if that makes any kind of sense. You
It
know,
does.
and when you have peace and you can think straight, that all come that is the most wonderful feeling, but it also come with a sober mind. With a sober mind, when you're all enthused and filled up with drugs, you can't make the right decisions, and you just can't do it alone. Don't, because drugs cause you to isolate, and you just got to find a support team, like
Come on
one of
now.
us, or somebody who's been through what you're going through, and you got to make sure you have enough sense to know what place is coming from. A lot of a good constructive criticism, not nothing to control you or make you like them, because everybody's situation is different. And
Absolutely.
what really keeps me strong is that thinking about what I went through, thinking about where I was hungry, thinking about where I didn't have no money for this and money for that, but I chose to have money for that, you know. So it's when you making the right decision, you got a peace of mind, it balances out. You don't even have to think
Absolutely.
about it that strong. Oh, I got this addiction. How am I get over it? It just be around people. Like I call Angela them all the time. I talk their head off because they don't know, but I just release something like off of me. And now I have more strength to go back and fight. You know, I call my mama Regina, and I talk to her. It's like, child, I'm at work. What you want? But I just need to that confidence. When somebody has your back, it makes you feel so good. When somebody looks up to you, and people are now doing that because everybody got a pass. Dora has a pass, baby. Dora has a pass, but she's strong now, and I'm proud of her. And it makes me proud that other people are proud of me, and that's what keeps me going.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So if I may say something to Dora, if it's okay, Dora, so with everyone here. So all of us here, except for you, Kaleem, I'm sure but you've heard the story, so now you know. We have all worked very, very close with Dora. And I'm sure everyone feels excited as I am to have you on this platform with us. And we only want to continue to encourage you to remain on this platform and continue to share your story, because every time you share your story, you help someone else out who's on the streets going through the same exact things that you've been through. So kudos to you, hands up to you for being here and for continuing to push, because we all here went through some things, Dora.
Yes, we have.
Some
Yes, we have.
things, Dora.
Wait, I felt a
And
little
But we
left out
love
now.
you. But
and
not
Dora,
only
let
have
me.
you been through things, we've been through personal things ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm. And Dora, let me say something. When you call me and I'm at work, if I'm at work, I'm at work. It's no disrespect. And I love the fact that you calling me to talk to me or whatever may have you. But that's what secures the bag. So therefore, if I say, Dora, I'm at work, sweetheart, you call me back. That's when you call Angela, darling. That's when you
That's what
call.
I hang up, and I will call Angela then, because I know I need your bag to be secure, because I ask for a lot of the bag sometimes. I be calling for that bag. So I know I
Yes. So
respect that.
out of you of everybody, you should definitely want your mama to secure her bag as much as you dig in it. As much as you dig in that bag. Allow me to secure my bag, please.
Yes.
Because you don't mind taking a pen, sticking it in the side of it.
I be needing it.
Of all people, she should understand.
But I will tell you, ladies, being on this panel with you all, it really, it helps me. It gives me strength every day. It gives me that fight. It gives me, it just gives me that desire to stay focused. And that's another reason why I love us having this panel. I love having powerful women and a powerful brother on this line to help keep that fight. It helps you get up to fight another day.
So I got to find me a brother to come up on here because y'all got all of this little girl bonding and all of that. And I just feel like I'm sitting in the corner with my little vape talking about I ain't smoking 4 days. But so I'm the only jewel that I could drop. And these are all marvelous, marvelous, marvelous jewels. And I appreciate the realness out of each and every last one of y'all. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this panel. But I say this every month, but I stand true to it. You don't ever, ever have to get high again, even when you want to. You don't have to. And all it takes is for you to tell yourself that, and then you can live in the freedom of it. When I was out there, I felt like I had to get high. There was no, if you get high, you feel like you have to get high, like there is no other option. And, everybody that you see on this panel is fighting to get another day clean, So if we can fight, so can you. And it's a lot harder for you to get one day clean than it is for me to get 4 years in one day. Because for me, the obsession has lifted, but you're the most important person in this group. You're the most important person that's viewing. You that only has one day clean, you that only has 2 days clean, because it's hard. And that is a long damn time.
It is.
So if nobody tells you congratulations, if nobody tells you keep pushing, I'm going to tell you keep pushing and congratulations. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just want to take the time to thank you ladies for not finding it robbery to join in on this panel. Next month, we have the beautiful Kayla Finn joining us. And we will definitely try to find Colleen some testosterone to come on. We will look for some testosterone for Colleen, but
you can have mine.
If you watching, we appreciate you taking out
I don't want. I'm trying to get rid of it.
Listening to our life and the lives we live. And I hope we were able to touch someone. I hope we were able to encourage somebody with these messages and the nuggets that we're sending out. And I love you. Do any one of you have any questions? If any one of you have any questions, I am looking at the Facebook. If you all have any questions, we definitely will answer. Is there any questions before we close?
Come on, Doris. See, you got your lashes.
I see. Yeah, that's a little insider. Because she used to have all these packs of lashes. And when I was out there doing drugs and going by her house, she said, girl, you save your money, you can get you some lashes. Hey, Dora got her lashes.
What you saying?
Ashley Figueroa said, thank you all for being open and sharing your experiences. Naona Byers said, STIs are related to drugs heavily in our community, especially when it comes to sex survival work.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Ross wants to know, how did we get to be so fabulous?
One day at a time.
You want to take that one, darling?
It's natural, darling.
Huh?
I said it's natural, darling.
Dora, would you like to answer that question? How did we become so fabulous?
I was born for this.
Angela, how did we become so fabulous?
So do I have to answer that question? Me? You want me to answer that question? I'm sorry, what happened? This? All of this?
Well, girl, I tell you,
how did we become so fabulous?
We thought we
one day at a time.
By just being me, one day at a time, exactly.
That's my answer. That's
stop
my answer.
doing
One
drugs.
day at a time.
Stop doing drugs. That's how I became fabulous. Because I used to thought I was the most fabulous drug addict out there.
So thank you guys for having us. And we will see you next time.
Hopefully we can get Aja to come on here and speak as well.
Yeah.
And don't forget, next month we have the beautiful Miss Continental Elite Aja joining us. See you all later.
Bye.
See ya. Thank you.
So did she stop the live?
Oh,
I think it's still playing. It's still on live.
Dora,
Don't say anything.
I'm eating cookies. All my addiction is food now.
Yeah, it still say live on Facebook.
Hey,
Tiffany. Hi.
how you doing, Tiffany?
She may decide, make a decision to join us on one of the conversations soon.
Yeah, I sure will.
Awesome.
Okay. We'd love to have them. Love to have you.
Well, congratulations again on your 4 years.
Thank you. Congratulations to you.
I love how you said a year and a day, because that's how I like when I pick up my medallions or my coupon or my chain or my key tag, I always pick up the year, the black and gold, and then I pick up another white one.
A white one, yes.
It's funny because sometimes when I do it, they look at me like, what's going on? Oh, it's my thing. I always pick up another white one to remind myself that I'm just one day clean, or that I'm starting back over again. Because if I forget that if I get so caught up in, I got this many years, that many years, I'm gonna forget how addiction is just one day at a time. So I always pick up that one tag to start back over.
Absolutely. That's how you keep it, That's how
that's how you have to keep. That's definitely my way of keeping it.
Because she just texted me and said, "Hang up, y'all. If y'all want to talk, call each other."
Oh. So we're gonna continue this conversation. Stop.
Okay.
All right. Great.
See y'all later. Okay. See y'all next month.
We'll catch up later. All right. Bye.
Yeah.